quite a few years, when we were picking plums or greengages, it was quite a perilous activity, because once the plums and greengages ripen, the wasps sense that there's something sweet in the area and they move in. So especially when you're trying to pick plums that are above head height, which for me isn't that high, it was quite tricky. You'd reach up and not be quite sure whether you'd actually grasped a plum that was full of wasps. Anyway, a couple of years ago we were watching Gardener's World, and Monty Don was talking about Waspinators, and that he'd used one of these in his greenhouse to try and stop the wasps getting his grapes. So had a look on the internet, had a look at various ones that you could buy, and I decided I'd try and make one myself. So last year I made a couple of Waspinators, and either they did the trick or we just didn't have as many wasps last year. So now's the time for me to make some again this year. We'll test them out again. So all I needed were 2 large brown paper bags, some bubble wrap, some string, and a pair of scissors. So the first thing was to take one of the bags and turn in the corners. Now the reason I'm doing this is because wasps' nests just don't have corners, and what we're trying to do with the Waspinator is try and fool the wasps into thinking some other wasps have made a nest in the area and they ought to keep away. So do the same with this one. I'm just pushing in the corners just to make a sort of a rounder shape, and then because wasp nests aren't totally smooth, I'm going to screw these up. Okay, I'm going to take one of them now and open it back up again. And into this I'm going to stuff some bubble wrap. Doesn't have to be bubble wrap, but seeing as it might get quite wet in the rain, bubble wrap's quite waterproof. Stuff it all in and make it look like a nice big wasp's nest. Then if I gather up the top, you can get the idea of what we're trying to achieve. And string. I want to bind this up completely now. Sure it doesn't open up. And there we go. Now we could leave it like that, but because it's likely to rain while the Waspinator's out, what I've done is made it a double thickness, just to give it that little bit more, I don't know, stop it from falling apart. So open the other one up. Don't you just hate it when you can't think of the right word to say? And that's going to act as a second cover over the Waspinator. Believe it or not, something's just buzzing around my head. In it goes. And again, gather up the ends. A longer piece of string this time, because I want this piece of string to be long enough to tie the Waspinator to a branch of one of the trees. Tie it tightly. And there we have it. Just needs hanging in the tree now, and hopefully it will fool any passing wasps into thinking the area is already occupied, and they'll move on. I'll let you know if it works this year as well as we think it did last year. I'm making 3 of these, so I have another 2 still to do, and then I'll show you how I'm going to hang them up. So now for the difficult part. First, I've got to climb under the green gauges, which are being weighed down by fruit, and then I've got to find a suitable branch to hang the Waspinator on as high up as I can. So I'm going for this branch here, full stretch, because I'm not very big. That now needs to be tied tightly in place. If it does rain, being under the tree, it gives it a little bit of protection, but if it does get wet and fall apart, I can soon put some more brown paper on. There we go. Swinging a little bit, but I don't think that'll matter. There we have it, a Waspinator wasp nest.